How's it going, everybody? So, just got Jason and Jesse here. We're trying to just come together and have like a little bit of a video and talk about Bill Gibson, who we lost way too early. So that was a little tune that back when I was growing up, Benjamin and I would jam out. It was probably around the year 2000 or so. And I just remember, Bill came back. We were just making all kinds of heinous noise back there. And he just went over and said, "Hey, give me one of those," or whatever. And I can't remember. So we handed him one of the guitars, and he sat down and he started doing the something like that, or just kind of like or something like that, and kind of got our minds thinking a little bit. It wasn't the exact style of music that we were looking to play, but it was something that worked and was maybe a little bit easier to chew on at our young age or whatever. So I'll just never forget that. That's something that he, gave to me, and it's blossomed into being able to do a lot of cool stuff.
Uncle Joe, a man I was beyond blessed to call my uncle. It brings me to think that there is no more conversations on the front porch, no more amazing boat rides struggling to stay on the tube, no more helping you drag a buck out of the hollers, no more things I would give the world to do with you one more time. Uncle Joe, a man with a gold heart that thought of everyone but himself. You will forever be missed. Love you, Uncle Joe.
You know the old fat boy joke, right?
No, enlighten us.
It was actually the first time I came to Kentucky. Randy said he was going to help us get the boat set up. So here we are. We get down to his place, and this became a running joke from that moment on. 10 years ago, Randy says, "Huh, look at that fat ass." And we get the boat all set up, and from that moment on, I was Fat Boy. So anybody that was around a lot, they heard me called Fat Boy quite a bit. That's where that came from.
One of my favorite memories from Uncle Joe is when I first learned the idea of tubing, and he took us tubing on the lake. And I remember the signs he always gave us. One was the stop one. But he always kept on going because he pushed us past our limits, and that was one of my favorite memories.
Bill, BJ, Joe, Dad, all the above. He was always a father to me, even though he was my father-in-law, and he made everyone feel welcome. And I'll never forget how he treated everyone as though they were his own family. It's going to be sad to see him go, but all we can do is do our best to let him live on in our hearts and do our best to emulate him, and we'll miss him.
All right. There's two things that I want to share. My first thing is anytime that Uncle Joe called me, he always would start with, "Mander, what's up? How's it going?" He never called me Amanda. It was always Mander. And I just, I went back and listened to voicemails of that, and I always loved that he called me Mander, even though it was so strange. The other memory that I want to share is the last few years we had been going up to Illinois for vacation in the summer, and my kids they actually would prefer to go to Uncle Joe's house as opposed to Florida because he made it so much fun. He would have the farm ready for us. He would have things ready for us to go fishing, the four-wheeler. the horses, and then the kids' favorite thing is he would take them out on his boat on the Mississippi and tubing. And early on, he took it very easy on them, just letting them tube. And then he would look at me and he's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he would sling them in circles, and he laughed and he was like, "They're hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit." And I was like, "That's right." And he just made his day that they enjoy that. But I don't think he realized that it made our day even more, and how special those trips were to see him and Aunt Rachel. It meant a lot to us.
A couple years ago, it's been about 3 years, around 2019, 2020 time frame, I got to talking to him like we always did, and he kind of said, "Where are you wanting to go with this?" Because I told him I wanted to just sit a camera in front of me, not like super crazy high recording value, but just like sit a camera in front of me with the camera microphone and just play a song and say that I've recorded a likeness of a song. And it went from there, where he saw a few of those. Most of them I still have privated on YouTube. I never shared them with anybody else. And I got to the point where he said, "Hey, what do you want to do with this?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I just kind of want to, make sure at least that, if I wrote something that I see it through. It's like I just have the starting part where I can play it consistently, and I've written the song, but what do I have after that? Just the few people that occasionally might hear it when I'm still healthy enough to play or whatever. They have it in their minds, maybe a version of it, but nobody's going to have like the perfect version except for the guy that wrote it usually, or if you've heard it 100,000 times or something." But yeah, I just went to that, and then I started getting some software on my computer, some FL Studio, and I've gotten to the point where I did a few tracks where I mastered and did the whole thing without a band. I just kind of like made a drummer, Spectral Valentine, we heard it earlier in the car. I'm the only one. There's not like an actual band. It's like I made all of those drums through painstakingly, like clicking on a stupid software. Bill knew about all of that. He was right there. I told him the weekend I was going to do it, and he was asking me next time I talked to him the following week, "Oh, did you get that done?" Yeah. And that's just how he was. He was always in tune with whatever you got going on, and he would always try to give some honest advice.
Yeah.
It's like numerous songs I'd come back, because I recorded more after that, and I'd come back, "All right, I'm going to send you this link and you have to listen to it." He's like, "Okay, well, I'll wait until I get pulled on the side of the road somewhere, and I'll listen to it. I want to devote my whole attention to it." And anyway, sometimes it'd be like, I don't like it.
Yeah, he was always pushing everyone to improve,
Right.
at least at some aspect of what they did.
He would try, because in the case where, it's one of us where he cares, he won't be as, unless he's kind of razzing you a bit, then he'll be as harsh as anybody. But I'm just saying he'll try, because you could tell that he cares. If he was given some advice or some a take on something, he would just kind of like candy coat it a little bit at the start. It's like,
Yeah.
"Don't want you to take this to serious offense or nothing, but that was total garbage," or like.
Then we're just gonna rip the band
Right. But there were a number of songs like that "Pretty Baby" that I was playing. I'll play it tomorrow at his funeral, and that was like all starting from that original time. Never forget it now, of going down that. They lived in like a trailer, right? It was a trailer, and the bed was all the way in the back of the trailer.
Which house was that?
That was when they had the trailer on
That
the same
was-
property.
Okay, that was the original one, yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that was just the trailer, and I think in the first 5 years, the pool outside cost more than the trailer inside.
Yep.
But they had to have that pool.
Yep.
That was the one demand for Christmas.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they got nothing for Christmas. Well, they got little things.
Yeah.
But come springtime, there was the pool.
But yeah, I just the last kind of few comments here. It really sucks that Bill didn't get to see my new band, so to speak. I mean, he saw us play early on when we hadn't literally practiced, but like maybe once or twice. And I still think we sounded good, but you know, always could be better. And I was going to be playing, or I'm still going to be playing, here in a couple weeks, and it was going to be back over in Keokuk so that he could see it. And it just sucks. If it were to happen, it's like, man, I wish you would have at least been able to hear the band play. But that's how life is. You don't get to plan it.
Yep.
You know.
Things just happen. So,
Any final thoughts about Bill, his life, and how he affected you in your life?
he was always the one that no matter what, he always made me see the way out of everything. Like, okay, here's the bad, but then what can you do to turn a shitty situation positive? You know, it was, no matter what, you can't change it, so just find a way to get past it. And no matter what, you know, there were times we didn't talk for ages, and then first thing, hey, how are you? And he always helped me get through all the bad times, all the good times. So I thank him for that, and he'll never know how much it meant to me. I mean, I know he does, but it's just going to be rough for a while.
I guess whenever you marry into a family, you always hope that they'll accept you and, you know, treat you like, you know, their family. And that's what you got with Joe. I always felt accepted, and I always felt like he wanted to include me just as well as anybody else. And not only that, he was a great role model to, you know, my son, a great father figure, and he loved to share the things that he loved with other people. And you know, Lincoln loved learning how to hunt, and Joe was looking forward to taking him this year, and he'll be missed, and Lincoln's going to miss that memory. And I just, we'll see you again someday.
There's two things that I want to share with you. The first one is Joe was always a kind and caring guy. He would treat you all like family. And the second thing I want to share with you is I remember when I was with Joe on Mammy's couch, and we were talking and talking for hours, and then my mom came and picked me up, and I just love remembering that.
What do you say, right? That's always the question. We joke about it because he's not always making the right decisions, not always being safe about stuff. And I used to joke, I'm like, one of these days you're gonna do something really stupid. And he's like, well, don't be counting me out yet. I ain't planning on going nowhere. And no one plans on it. But I think, he had a wonderful life with all the people he cared about most, and he made time for everyone, even if they didn't deserve it. And, he's just a wonderful man.
Good afternoon, Rachel. We're down here in Burkesville, Kentucky. We got your honey down here for you. It's the last thing I can do for him. I'd do it 1,000 times if he could just come back and be with us a little while. I'd drive him down here 1,000 times just to keep him around. He's going to be missed, girl. Carrie and Garrett, they don't know. They're still in shock, I believe. I am. Carol is. Cheyenne. I know we all have this day coming, and we don't know when, why, or where, but it's going to happen to every one of us sooner or later. He's with the good Lord now, and he's probably got his hands full up there with him there, so I just want you to know that we love you, and we'll be there and do what we can do, so be thinking of you often. Love you.
Hey, BJ. And whoever else is watching this, I guess. It's a sad day. Guess I just wanted to say thanks. All the late night talks around the fire and the karaoke at the house and all the parties and all the good times. Going fishing and all the advice on hunting, letting me go on the property. I'll be sure to make sure the deer population doesn't get overwhelming for you. So, words aren't good enough; they don't express. But I'm sure you knew we loved you, and we'll be missing you, buddy.
Hey, BJ. I'm really going to miss seeing you and talking to you. Watching all your terrible shows and movies with you. I'm really, really glad I got to know you. I'm really, really glad I got to have you as a dad. I'm really glad you got to meet Kyle. Thank you for giving your permission for our marriage, too. I just cannot thank you enough for everything you have done for me, my family, my parents. Thank you for being such a good friend to my father. I know how much you loved him. He loves you so much. Thank you for being the best father to my best friend. She's gonna miss you so much. I'm gonna miss you so much. I love you.